What do you think that from a money perspective, right? When money comes fast, it can certainly go fast. What is the biggest financial lesson that you've learned so far?
It's a good question. You're asking really great questions.
Noah, it's so great to talk with you. You just have been a rising star right from the beginning, and you still have your whole career ahead of you. Looking back, what advice have you been given that's been the best advice that you think you've received so far?
It's a really good question. To keep the horse blinders on, to keep your head down and focus on what you're doing and not look at everybody else, because I think the thief of joy is comparison, and I feel like it's very easy to do with social media nowadays. And you see your friends doing really well and other people, and it can cause you to steer your ship in a way that you might not have went if you didn't see that. So as an artist, keeping yourself grounded in what you want to do and keeping your goals aligned to your, not looking at anybody else's goals, thinking about what you want and doing what you want to do. So the horse blinders thing,
So growing up on a farm.
Yes, ma'am.
Chicken farm, right?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
grew up on a farm as well in Northwest Florida. And my grandfather had a chicken farm just for a small bit, but mostly cattle through the years. But how has that been, and how has that influenced your storytelling and your music in general that you're writing and singing?
Well, growing up, you always had a shop radio. The truck always had a radio, and your tractors had a radio. So we always would have it on the country stations and just subconsciously listening to music all the time and seeing. I didn't really pay attention to the songs as much until I started getting into music, but I realized that we were listening to the things that we were already doing, essentially. So I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg, but we were still doing it. So I guess growing up on the farm, we had the fires on our properties. We had all the things, we were sneaking out doing all the, stuff a good old boy would do, So the era that I grew up in, I'm 26. So that was the Luke Bryans, the Dierks Bentleys, the Jason Aldeans, all those people. And they sang the song, the Fort Georgia Line. They sang the music that just were our lives. And I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like people in Nashville had a pen and paper and just were like looking at my life and our friend's life and just like, yeah, well, they do that. So that's kind of how it influenced really I don't know. I couldn't sing pop music because that's not what I really grew up doing. I can write it, but I can't sing it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. And the red dirt, that certainly does, unless you've been there and done that, it does bring out a different
100%
person, I think, from the core.
And language.
And the way you say it, too, right?
Right. Absolutely.
I know, depending on who I'm around, my accent changes a little bit. But in your career so far, what do you think that from a money perspective, right? When money comes fast, it can certainly go fast. What is the biggest financial lesson that you've learned so far?
That's a good question. You're asking really great questions. The biggest financial lesson I'd say I've learned so far is to obviously not get yourself in over your head with trying to impress other people, but also not sell yourself short on making sure yourself is comfortable, if that makes sense. Because it's all, as an artist and or a songwriter, we're all kind of like subcontractors to ourselves. We're all our own business. So if you can't afford a big apartment, don't get it. But if you can and you think you can make it work, try it, or like whatever that is, or don't hire the band members that can make you go under. Just being smart and not just spending money on stuff that you shouldn't. Cooking, that saves a lot of money. Going to the grocery store.
It does. Probably healthier for you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. So you talked about hiring people, you're an entrepreneur.
CEO.
Whether you like it or not, you're kind of forced into that in the music industry, and having that knowledge and getting some of that hard-won wisdom, not just from your own experiences, but from all that you've seen come before you. That's just a tip.
Yes.
I happen to be a financial advisor and a CPA, so I just always like to recommend that. But trusting who you have around you, your entire team. How important has that been for you so far?
Probably, it's like any relationship. If trust goes out the window, it never really ends up working. So there's going to be things that happen with you and your team that's going to push those boundaries too. But you have to know that the people that are working for you and working with you have your back no matter what. And I feel like throughout the years, I've always had a very good sense of that, and I've been very blessed with the team, my managers, my producers, everybody that I've kind of have been in my corner, that they want me to succeed, not just a dollar sign. You know, because I tell everybody that's an artist, I'm like, you have a dollar sign over your head, and when we walk into a room with people that potentially want to like buy that dollar, you got to have the flashiest one, but you got to make sure they just don't want to just take this. That's all they're in for. They, you know, have good hearts and just, you know, and there's still good people out there, but with business, anything, you know.
Right, freedom of relationships.
Right.
So, Noah, I am so excited. Can't wait to see your success as you move forward, and I'm just so sure that you're going to have a bigger future than your past.
Thank you so much, Jackie.